Welcome back, terrestrials. In this episode, we're talking House of a Thousand Corpses. Let's jump right into the video store totals because we have a new format that we're trying out. See how it goes. Let us know. And make sure you subscribe because it costs you nothing and helps us with the algorithm. Video store totals. Director, Robert Cummings. Budget was 7 million. 14 kills or 13, depending on how you look at it. Yes, plenty of nudity. Now, what grade would you give this movie?
I'm gonna grade this movie a solid B, maybe
Okay.
even closer to the B plus
Okay.
side. You know,
Okay.
but yeah, I feel it definitely deserves it. Not as good as Devil's Rejects, but it's different.
Mhm.
So, where are you leaning on this? Have
I
you made
think,
your decision?
yeah. So I think
Okay,
that I think that I have to give it a B minus. It's a little
B
bit better than a C
minus.
plus, but a B minus. Maybe a B.
Okay,
Somewhere in that range. Fuck it. I'll just give it a B.
you're giving
It
it a
is
B,
it is a good movie,
right?
but here's the downside.
Hmm.
This movie is so schizophrenic, and this movie makes zero sense. Or it doesn't make zero sense. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. The cutscenes in this movie make no goddamn sense because they have
Right.
nothing. Most of them have nothing to do with the actual movie, or they're just little clips from old TV shows that, or something that he made up and just shoved in there because this movie would be 40 minutes long without them.
Right. It's the music video kind of effect where he throws a bunch of stuff in there,
Mhm.
whether or not it makes sense
Yeah.
or, the skunk ape
There's
and
literally the exact same style cutscenes as Evil Bong, just done at a higher level.
yeah.
Like it's a cutscene where it's showing some like inverted blood or
Yeah.
like inverted like filter on some like dead rodent, and then it's like, all right, back at the Spalding Ranch. Like
Yeah.
no,
Meanwhile,
man,
back
like
at the yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Fucking
just yeah.
some of them like transitional make okay sense. Like there's some where they're driving along the road, you know, and it's kind of cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Natural Born Killers.
Mhm.
You know how like in Natural Born Killers they do a lot of those like transitional, but Natural Born Killers it's done really artistically and well, whereas Rod Zombie
Mhm.
just kind of feels like he's kind of like doing them because they look cool,
Yeah, yeah.
or I don't the movie's a fucking hour long. I need to make this longer. How can I make this longer? Oh, I'm going to insert all of this stuff in there
Mhm.
to make it cool. But
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, aesthetically, the movie is very pleasing in that
right.
fashion. But when you sit down and you look at it and you go, that's unnecessary, that's unnecessary, that's unnecessary, that's unnecessary. Yeah, you've got a 45-minute movie and it's packed full of Living Dead Girl style music video
Music video.
edits. And it's like, hey, man, you were supposed to make a movie,
Yeah.
and
Well,
there's
he
a
did.
movie in here. If you would just finish making that movie,
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah.
You had a good idea. You saw Head of the Family just like we did. And you said, I'm going to do that one up. Hold my
Hmm.
beer. And then you wrote something. Great idea.
Great
Great
idea.
concept. And then you just like nitpicked all these, like, I'm Rob Zombie, so I gotta have like demons and like dead things and like I gotta
Yeah.
yeah. And
Uh,
then yeah,
um,
it's like, god damn it.
yeah. Um, and I think I completely agree though with the schizophrenia of like scene shot to scene. Like sometimes the scenes slow down.
Mhm.
Like I love that opening scene to the gas station.
Mhm.
How he pulls and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to be like John Carpenter at the beginning of Halloween or whatever. But I do like when it does slow down, but it doesn't happen very often. And then fucking we're just on the roller coaster ride called Rod Zombie's horror attraction, where he's
Mhm.
just trying to like sell his like Halloween at Universal Studio. Rod Zombie just had like a list of like things he wanted to do. And
Yeah,
they were like, yeah, sure.
that's what it really felt like. It felt like he was like, I have this short story,
Yes.
but I think this would look cool. I think this would look cool. I like this. And then I'm going to put it all in the back of my Dracula and then show it to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I mean by like schizophrenic. It's like, this will look cool. This will look cool. This will look cool. And there's also a little bit of a story cut into there. And, the story that is there is good. It,
The characters. The
yeah.
characters are really good.
Mhm.
Like obviously the more superior movie is Devil's Rejects. We've already covered that. Go watch
Mhm.
it. I guess we did a good job with Devil's Rejects, but
We could
there's way
revisit it
more.
possibly.
Yeah. But yeah, this compared to Devil's Rejects, this feels like a cartoon, whereas Devil Rejects feels grounded in reality,
Mhm.
very bare bones.
Mhm.
They even feel like different characters, like the Otis from House and
Yeah.
Otis from Devil's Rejects feel like two different characters, similar, but they just have like that different feeling, you know?
Well, they have a different feeling, but also in this one, Otis has like a bluish eyes and very thinning blonde hair,
Right,
almost bald blonde. And then in Devil's Rejects, he's got decent gray hair and a full fucking beard and brown eyes.
right.
Or his eyes are still blue, but like they're toned, it's almost like they're toned down for some reason, where
Hmm.
they're not as noticeable. But like this, when you go from House to Devils, what is the time frame between the two? Because they make it seem like it's very quick
Yeah, it
in
has to
some
be.
parts, but then where did that giant fucking beard and gray hair come from? Did that happen in 2 weeks?
Yeah, of
Or
course.
was this like a year or two period? Because that makes more sense. But anyways,
I
I digress.
because
We're
they're
not
still talking about the cheerleaders and Devil's Rejects
Mhm.
that appear in this movie.
Right.
Obviously the cop that dies in this movie, they're talking about him a lot in in Devils.
Yeah.
So, a very short period of time. I guess maybe after the events of House, the investigation of the Firefly family just revved up, you know, because of or even like because of the events of the two police officers and the out of town retired cop. Maybe that got more notice.
Yeah. I mean, probably, but where'd that beard come from?
He
That's what I'm
shaves in the
trying.
morning and then the next
That.
day it just like this happens. Holy Miss Molly got me a live one.
Are you sure? I feel
All
like
right.
Spalding said that to him in the gas station.
No, no, no. That's then grandpa's like, all right, dinner's over. It's
Oh,
showtime.
okay.
Which like that's also where we see Rod Zombie's writing, like, I don't know what to do because there's so many scenes that are just like, well, what do they do now? Okay,
Yeah.
they'll have a show, where
How do
grandpa
I
tells
make this not Texas Chainsaw
yeah,
Massacre?
grandpa shows does a comedy bit and baby girl will do a lip sync. You know, do they do this every night to nobody?
They
Who
might.
knows?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the certain parts of this movie that aren't flushed out. That's
Right.
why Devils reign supreme, because this one could be the superior movie.
Right.
It just wasn't flushed out. It wasn't thought out. I don't think he had. I think he had. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think he had too much confidence coming into this
Oh,
movie. I
Rod
think he
Zombie.
was coming off a Hillbilly Deluxe, um,
Mm-hmm.
just a short few years ago, and then he
Right.
put out the other one, and then whatever the fuck was after that one, and then he was like, "Yeah, dude,
Sinister
fucking,
Urges.
I'm fucking Robert Cummings. Nobody can stop me." And then he fucking just was like, I want this aesthetic, and I want this gore, and I want this that doesn't make sense, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
insert this clip, and I'm going to do that. And then he sat down at the editing thing and was like,
I am such a fucking
fuck.
fraud. My
Yeah, yeah,
God. Just
yeah,
his hands on his head, just going,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God. I don't think I can do this.
Oh, I've dug
And
through
then he
ditches and burned through the
he
witches too
drinks a cup
hard.
of coffee and it's like a montage scene of Rod Zombie like, you're the best
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
Fucking like, and then like House of a Thousand Corpses appeared
yeah,
and it fucking goes ape shit because there's
yeah.
nothing like this on the market. Which
Yep.
I've said a million times that that market at that time when this movie came out was flooded with those just like really like
I know
bad
what you
horror
did
movies.
last summer.
Right.
Yeah.
And fucking, 13 Ghost where I bitched about that.
Yeah, you sure did.
But but it's different. And that's where I think the B plus comes from. Is that at the time this came out, I ain't never seen anything like this before. Let's go see it. Let's go see it again. I saw this like in the theater like 5 times, I think.
It definitely, you have to bow down and show respect
Right.
because of what it did later. But in Rob Zombie's filmography, it's not the superior movie.
No,
Obviously,
no.
that's Devil's Rejects.
Yeah. Another thing that we haven't touched on is side characters. Okay. This movie has a ton of characters. Like
It
it is
really does.
some movies you can see like or like, oh, there's like a couple here and there, but this movie really has like a lot. You have everything from okay, the guy in the gross I mean in Captain Spaulding's just talking.
Mhm,
You have like never see him again. It's okay. Baby Billy makes an appearance and he's amazing. He's trying to be like, a badass, and he's not a badass in this. And
yeah,
I love
no, he's
his
not.
little cameo. The sheriff with the big beard, like old Rod Zombie sheriff and
Mhm,
stuff. Fucking I really like that character.
mhm,
Even like in the family, the Rufus character, very small part in this.
mhm.
Um,
Even
but
Tiny.
tiny, yeah. I mean, like, I forget that actor's name. I think it's Matthew. But that's a very big presence for, just kind of like doing very little.
Yeah, I wonder if he was in better shape and had more agility if they would have used him more. Because
Yeah.
at that size of a human being, I feel like it was kind of hard for him to move and get
Mm,
around and stand up and sit down. Now, that is the same actor that was in Big Fish.
yes.
In Big Fish, he also does not move very much. He's more just visually huge and does little bits of walking. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the reason he was used so smally.
Yeah.
Smally. So
Finally.
yeah, tinily. But yeah, like the grandpa character, tiny,
Grandpa, yeah,
tiny.
Grandpa is a perfect example
I
where,
mean, he was hilarious.
yeah, he
Like
was
he was great character.
put me behind the wheel of that bitch. I'll show you driving.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
that character is really great. And if one positive thing that I can say about Rod Zombie movies is that he knows how to fill the movie with just small parts that kind of are like, whoa, where did that guy come from? Like, whoa,
Yeah.
that guy's crazy. I want to see
Mhm.
more of him,
Mhm.
you know, but they're just small and they're impactful. And it's like, and then Rod Zombie says, no, look at my wife,
Mhm.
look at my
Yeah.
wife.
Mhm. Yeah. I forgot you see your tits in this. It totally blanked my mind.
Man, who cares?
Yeah. Well, in 2003 I cared. But
Yeah,
I
but
think that
after
that's a
the
root. Huh?
the reservoir of Rod Zombie movies where she's gonna be in it like every
Yeah, I
time,
don't.
we're
Yeah, I
just
don't
like,
care anymore.
I don't care.
I didn't care by Devil's Rejects. So,
Nah.
let alone now. But
Rod Zombie, one, needs to find a good distributor. Two, needs to admit he needs help.
Mhm.
Three, needs to focus on this. I think another big reason, and I heard in an interview a long time ago where Rob says, if I wanted money, I would just go out on tour.
Mhm.
So he's doing these as passion projects, but he knows it's like, it doesn't matter if the movie sucks or is awesome, because I'll just go out on tour and
That
make money.
yeah, that also relates back to what I said of their passion projects, so he's not letting anybody else's handle.
Right.
This is mine. I'm doing this because I'm passionate. I'm Robert Cummings.
Right.
I'm going to do this because I love the idea and you can't help me. And then you get three from hell.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to rewatch that eventually and just make sure it sucks.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's coming again. It's coming around next week.
I remember not hating it that much.
Right.
But I think a lot of other people were more critical of it than I was.
I was in the
I
wrong mindset for it, so
Yeah, you hated it.
I hated it.
And I was like, I don't think it's that
I thought
fucking
it was
bad, man.
pointless to be made. I thought it was just like, why? Why?
Oh, why
You
any
know?
of them?
No, well, no, just especially that one. You're telling me that the end of Devil's Rejects, like after getting shot up, like really
Yeah.
like, oh, yes, they went out, blaze of glory, fucking, and on that perfect song. Amazing ending. And then Rob's like, wait a minute, no, they live.